From the gritty blocks of Compton to the polished marble floors of Malibu, Dr. Dre's story reads like a masterclass in leveling up. We're talking about a man who went from DJing at local clubs to owning more square footage than some entire suburbs. Dre didn't just make beats, he made billions out of bass lines. And in 2025, he's living a billionaire life so polished, even his reflection probably has a net worth. It all started with a beat that literally changed the world. Beats by Dre. Back in 2014, Apple didn't just want headphones, they wanted Dre's entire frequency. The tech giant dropped a record-breaking $3 billion for the company, and Dre's personal haul? Around $620 million. That's not a paycheck. That's generational wealth wearing designer shades. The deal made him the highest-paid musician in history. Somewhere, Mozart just rolled over in his grave whispering, "Should have had better branding." But when your loose change could fund a small country, what's next? For Dre, the answer was simple. Build an empire that pays you while you sleep. Enter Aftermath Entertainment, a label that's basically a cash machine disguised as culture. Eminem, 50 Cent, Kendrick Lamar, Dre didn't just produce their hits, he produced their careers. Interscope once dropped $35 million for a small stake in Aftermath, and the rest? Still paying him royalties like clockwork. Every time someone presses play on The Real Slim Shady, Dre probably hears it in surround sound, made of money. But even moguls need somewhere to park their success. So Dre turned his attention to real estate, and not the two-bedroom with a view kind. Try Malibu's Carbon Beach, where the neighbors have their own private security teams and probably a backup yacht just in case. Dre scooped up his seaside fortress for $4.8 million in 2000 and later listed it for a cool $20 million. That's not appreciation, that's domination with ocean views. The place has 6 bedrooms, 7 bathrooms, glass walls, and a private studio where Dre can literally drop platinum records while watching the sunset over the Pacific. Inside? Bamboo finishes, open concept spaces, and enough natural light to blind your accountant. Oh, and there's direct beach access, because billionaires don't walk to the sand, they descend upon it, and that's just one address. Dre's also flipped mansions in Calabasas and Woodland Hills, each dripping with exclusivity and quiet power. One property had an Olympic-sized saltwater pool, a 150-gallon fish tank, and a private theater. Because why leave the house when you can have Hollywood in your living room? Every sale adds another comma to his bank balance. But let's step out of the foyer and into the garage, because Dre's driveway looks like a luxury car museum with trust fund swagger. His fleet? A Cadillac Escalade that redefines SUV, a Chrysler 300S that hums like a symphony of horsepower, and of course, the crown jewel, a Rolls-Royce Phantom drophead coupe. Price tag? Around $220,000. The doors open backward like the universe itself is letting him in. The leather's softer than R&B in '98, and the wood veneers are so polished they could double as mirrors for other millionaires. But Dre's luxury doesn't end at the curb. It takes off, literally. But Dre's luxury doesn't end at the curb. It takes off, literally. Because when you're Dr. Dre, traveling in style doesn't mean business class. It means owning the sky. The man has been spotted alongside an Airbus H-155 helicopter, a sleek, $14 million piece of aviation art built for people who think traffic is for peasants. Outfitted for VIP travel, this chopper doesn't just take you from A to B, it makes you forget the alphabet entirely. And when Dre's going coast to coast, rumor has it he prefers the Gulfstream V, a jet so luxurious it makes first class look like a bus ride. It cruises 6,500 miles nonstop, with interiors so plush you could hold a board meeting or a spa day midair. Maybe both. Price tag? around $36 million. For Dre, that's not a splurge. It's air conditioning for his ambition. But when the mogul's not soaring above the clouds, he's floating across oceans, aboard N.W.A, his 240-foot super yacht that's less boat and more private nation. Built in 2011 by Mark Berryman Design, this vessel features bamboo finishes, 8 cabins, and a full-deck jacuzzi. It even has a 5-person submarine on board. Because why dive when you can commute underwater? The yacht's worth an estimated $60 million, but Dre's not selfish. You can rent it if you've got a spare $580,000 a week burning a hole in your pocket. And here's the thing, Dre's not buying toys, he's buying symbols. Every car, every jet, every mansion is another line in his autobiography of dominance. You can tell this man doesn't spend, he curates. His wealth isn't loud. It hums in the background like a perfectly mixed track. Speaking of curated, let's talk about what's on Dre's wrist. Because when you've built empires, you don't check time, you own it. His go-to piece? A Rolex masterpiece day-date in platinum drenched in diamonds worth about $140,000. The kind of watch that says, "I'm late because time waits for me." He's even known to gift 6-figure watches to friends, like when he handed Rick Ross a Hublot Big Bang, just because Tuesday was feeling generous. And while Dre's wrist screams legacy, his lifestyle whispers opulence. Court documents from his divorce gave us a rare peek behind the velvet rope. The man reportedly spends $13,000 a month on household supplies, which at his level probably means gold toothbrushes and imported air. Then there's $70,000 on clothes and a casual $645,000 on entertainment and gifts. That's not a typo. That's Dre's version of treating himself. His total monthly burn rate? Around $2.2 million. That's like paying a mortgage on a private island every 30 days. But don't mistake extravagance for recklessness. Dre's spending isn't random, it's ritual. Everything he buys either holds value or builds one. He's a master at turning assets into legacy, luxury into leverage. And if there's one thing he loves more than success, it's designing what success looks like. From the cockpit of a Gulfstream to the deck of a yacht, Dre lives in a constant remix of luxury and discipline. It's all measured, intentional, and very, very expensive. But behind every empire, there's the origin story. And Dre's started far from yachts and jets. Because before the platinum watches and billion-dollar deals, there was just a kid in Compton chasing a sound that the world wasn't ready for. Before the super yachts, before the billion-dollar checks, before the doctor even had patients in the form of rappers, there was just Andre Romel Young, a kid from Compton with big dreams and even bigger speakers. Born in 1965, Dre didn't grow up surrounded by luxury. He grew up surrounded by noise. Not the kind that comes from V12 engines, the kind that comes from struggle, sirens, and stereo systems turned up to drown out the chaos. School wasn't exactly his stage. Dre bounced between high schools, flirting with radio broadcasting classes before realizing textbooks weren't going to make him a legend. Music would. And by the mid-'80s, he joined the world-class wreckin' crew, rocking shiny suits, perms, and beats that would make your uncle two-step in public. But it wasn't until he linked up with Eazy-E and Ice Cube that lightning truly struck. Together, they formed N.W.A, the group that basically reprogrammed American music. Straight Outta Compton wasn't just an album. It was a declaration. The raw, unfiltered sound of a community tired of being ignored. Dre wasn't just producing records, he was producing revolution. The world listened, the streets erupted, and hip-hop was forever changed. But even revolutions have drama. Internal beefs split N.W.A, Dre left, and out of that chaos came Death Row Records, co-founded with the notorious Suge Knight. That's where Dre dropped The Chronic, an album so defining it turned G-Funk into a lifestyle. Nothing But a G-Thang became the soundtrack of an era, and Dre became the architect of West Coast sound. And just when people thought he'd peaked, Dre did what geniuses do. He evolved. He left death row, built Aftermath, and in 1998 took a chance on a bleach-blonde battle rapper from Detroit named Eminem. The industry laughed, until it didn't. My Name Is blew up, and suddenly, Dre wasn't just a producer. He was a kingmaker. From Eminem came 50 Cent, from 50 came an empire, and from that empire came a legacy that's still echoing through every pair of headphones on the planet. Decades later, Dre reminded everyone he still runs the game, literally center stage at the Super Bowl halftime show in 2022, flanked by Snoop Dogg, Kendrick Lamar, Eminem, and Mary J. Blige. The moment was pure poetry. The kid from Compton headlining America's biggest show, wearing decades of history like a diamond chain. But even legends face battles. In 2021, Dre suffered a brain aneurysm, a terrifying reminder that money can buy everything, except time. As he fought for recovery, fans, friends, and collaborators flooded him with love. When he walked out of that hospital, the applause wasn't for his success. It was for his survival. Then came the public divorce, the headlines, the $100 million settlement. Painful? Sure. But Dre didn't crumble. He recalibrated. That's what moguls do. By 2024, he was back in the studio with Snoop Dogg, producing Missionary, the spiritual sequel to Doggy Style. He also returned to produce tracks on Eminem's 12th studio album, because apparently, retirement isn't in the vocabulary of billionaires who still make beats harder than your Wi-Fi password. And through it all, the money, the fame, the fallout, Dre's focus never changed. Legacy. From N.W.A. to Beats by Dre, from Compton's streets to Apple's boardrooms, he's lived every phase like a man who refuses to repeat the same verse twice. So, what's the real flex of Dr. Dre's billionaire life in 2025? It's not the mansions, the jets, or even the $140,000 Rolex. It's the blueprint he left behind, proof that discipline, innovation, and audacity can take you from the block to the boardroom. He built an empire out of sound. He turned rhythm into real estate. And he did it all without ever dropping the beat. And now, here's the truth. Dre's life isn't just luxury porn for YouTube. It's a reminder that no matter where you start, you can rewrite your entire soundtrack. You just have to be willing to produce your own future, bar by bar, deal by deal, decade by decade. If this breakdown of Dre's billionaire world inspired you, hit that like button harder than a Dre snare, drop a comment telling us which flex blew your mind most, and subscribe, because we've got more deep dives into the lives of icons who turned hustle into history. Until next time, keep your goals loud, your grind louder, and your success, turn that all the way up.